Hey everybody, it's Nick back with the Bass Hookup, and today, again, totally different type of video. Um, I've been wanting to mess around. Well, let me start again. If you guys haven't been watching along since the beginning, my brother and I designed some baits, came out with a line. It's called First Gen Fishing, and you could find them on Tackle Warehouse. They're not available yet. They are going to be very soon. I'm going to do some videos on the baits that are going to be available to you guys. And we basically design these baits to catch fish. We fish tournaments. We love catching fish, and there's little niches in the market that, growing up, you're always tweaking baits, tweaking spinner baits, that we thought we could bring something new to the table, something the fish haven't seen before, something that's just smarter, as opposed to what's out there already. And we tried to do that, and I think it came out really, really well. And so we're always working on new things. And being that it's spring, I love to throw square bill crankbaits or shallow diving crankbaits, crawdad imitating crankbaits to be specific. And, there are colors out there, but there's nothing that really imitates a crawdad that good, in my opinion, as far as the shape of the crankbait. So in this video, I'm using balsa, and I'm going to be carving out a crankbait in the shape that I think looks really good, provides the fish something different, has some ridges on it, looks more like a crawdad shape, shell. You guys will see that. I'm going to show you guys from beginning to end. I just took a block of balsa, and I didn't use a saw, I didn't use anything, all by hand, just using a razor and a pencil, and getting this thing the right size, the size I wanted. I modeled it, you'll see, after Lucky Craft BDS 3 as far as the length and the size, because I caught so many fish on the Delta on the BDS 3 in Mad Craw, to be specific, and you can't get that color anymore. But I still think it could be better, right? All the crawdad crankbaits, they are crawdad colors, but they're not the shape. They don't have the ridges of the shell. I want it to be super detailed. I want something that also has those ridges that as it's swimming through the water, it's putting off a little bit different vibration than anything else. So that was my goal, making it look realistic enough, not ultra realistic, but realistic enough that it looks different, and also have those little ridges on it that nothing else out there has.
Right here, I've already taken the block of balsa, start out with just a block. And you can see earlier, I drew out the basic shape or outline of that BDS3. So just to get the size, just to get kind of the width of it, and then just start shaving it from there. I've never done this before. It's something I've wanted to do with crankbaits, with, you know, big topwater baits. I like to make a big walking bait, um, wake bait, all different things you can do with balsa. It's pretty fun. I mean, the balsa is really, really light. It's really easy to carve. Um, it's super easy to manipulate with sandpaper. Right here, I got a couple pieces of sandpaper. One a heavier grit, one a finer finishing grit sandpaper, and I got that basic shape down. You can see all the wood to the left and right. Carved out the basic shape, got it fairly close to what I wanted to be as far as the size, and left some room on there, of course, because I can't add wood back to the bait. Left some wood on it, started sanding down and getting down to that finer detail. So just getting the shape. I mean, fishing a long time, I kind of have an idea in my mind what it should look like to me, as far as the back of the bait, the belly, and the overall look and feel of it. Just keep on sanding it away. It's fairly cheap too. I think balsa. I think a pretty big piece of balsa. I think it was $15.99 for two pieces that were 3 inch by 3 inch by 12 inch. Again, big pieces, because I was planning, and maybe I haven't done a video on it, but making a big walking bait, a topwater walking bait, like a 6 to 7 inch walking bait with a big profile. So I wanted the big block of wood. I really am looking at it. I'm thinking about making a wake bait too. If you guys want to see me carve out a wake bait from beginning to end, leave a comment. If you guys want to see a wake bait, maybe I'll carve out a wake bait, something that's not out there or something I just come up with on the fly. Throw a wake bait out there and see if that works. But for right now, these little crankbaits, you know, they're killer in the spring. There aren't any that really look like a crawdad shape. They're all baitfish shape, flat sides, smooth sides, colored like a crawdad, but they don't really look like a crawdad. And what crawdad has eyes in the front of its head like a baitfish? So here I'm just, I got the basic shape down. I'm getting the center line on both sides of the bait, and then I get the center line down the back of the bait. And my idea was to make this kind of like a crawdad shell shaped on the back, and then again kind of on the belly. So I'm trying to mark it out, get that all down. That way I could draw the lines that later on they'll be the shell. And I mess up, so again, first time I ever done it. So I mean, I expected to mess up a ton of times, probably go through a couple blocks of wood, cut my finger up with the razor blade, a bunch of fun. But it's really fun making them. Now, since this video, I think I've carved out 3 more because I, had fun doing it. So if you guys are interested in doing it, carving out a bait, as far as carving out the bait without the hook hangers and all that hardware stuff, all you need is a piece of balsa, an idea, a pencil, couple brand new razor blades, and you're good to go. Just go ahead, draw on a piece of wood and start carving. That's all I did. It's pretty, just let your imagination create whatever you want. It's pretty fun. So right here I'm just drawing the lines of where the shell outline is going to be. And then once I get the lines, I want these to be, as straight as I could get them. And then once I get these lines on there, I'll start drawing the actual shape of the shell. And then I put some more detail down here towards the belly. It just seemed kind of bare down here, so I want to add something. There's got to be something down here. So it's time to take the razor to it, cut into this thing. So after all the work, it's kind of scary after you carve it down, sand it down, get it the shape you want. It's kind of scary to, one, draw on it, but it's even scarier to take a razor and cut into this thing, because like if you mess up, pretty much going to have to start out fresh with a whole new block, start all over from scratch. And I've never done it before, so watching guys all the time on YouTube, marling baits, solar baits, bunch of different bait makers, and they make it look so easy. And it's not. It's fairly easy. It's fairly easy, just a matter of doing it. So I was happy with how it's going. The balsa is really soft, so it's pretty easy to cut into, get the detail into it, and just take your time when you get to this step, because like I said, if you mess up, you're back at square one, starting all over again. So it's better to take your time, get it right, get it the way you want it. And, but if you do mess up, you probably have another piece of wood there, and you can start all over again. So that's the cool thing about making your own baits, is that if you break it off, or, you mess this thing up, and you can just go home, and it's just more carving, it's more sanding, and make another, and make it even better than the first one. Right here, just going through, cutting down these lines, and then I'll come back through and actually start shaving wood off to make the ridges for the shell and all the detail that I want in this crankbait. All right, finally getting the last parts of it done here. And after I carve this out, you got to come back through. I use the fine grit sandpaper and start sanding in each little crevice that I've carved out there. Get it all totally smooth, as possible, before it goes on to the finishing process and adding hardware and all that stuff. And I will say, I did not get adding the hardware in the video. I didn't get Mike painting the crankbait either. I had Mike from Sac Pig Bait Company. He went ahead and painted the crankbait for me. He lives just down the street. and also helped me get the hardware on, add the weight to it. And we just eyeballed everything. I mean, the crankbait lip, he had circuit board lips already that he had from the past. So we took one of those, used some circuit board lip, eyeballed the slot for that, cut that. I eyeballed where I wanted the hook hangers and where the weight should go. And, you know, I don't know. We didn't never even put the thing in the water before it went to paint. At the end of the video, we'll see how it runs, because this thing did not touch water before it was completely done, which isn't the smartest idea, because you could get all the way to the end and the thing is totally unbalanced and runs horribly. But you guys will see that at the end. We'll see how it runs and see if it catches any fish. So here, yeah, I'm just sanding out all the detail. Really close to finished here. I really like the way it looks. I mean, you guys tell me, what do you think as far as what you see right now? Looks like, you know, more of a crawdad to me. You look at it, it's got the crawdad like tail profile. Just looks like a piece of meat, piece of bass meat. So I do like it, and then the ridges I think will provide a little bit different vibration coming off this crankbait as it comes through the water, because those are going to catch water too, along with the rolling action of it and the regular crankbait action. So at this point, I'm really happy at what it's looking like. I can't wait to see it when it's painted. But I'm going to quit talking. You guys can watch me finish this process, and then I'll be back at the end, and we're going to see if we can catch a fish on it, see how it runs, and you'll see the final painted product.
I have the finished bait right here. Here's the finished bait. Great look at, I'm super happy how it came out. Mike over at Sack Pig Bait Company, he makes probably the best rat wake baits that you could buy. He painted this thing. Again, awesome color scheme for springtime. I'm gonna bring this thing out in the kayak, see how it runs. I haven't even seen it. That's why I have it tied up to braid. I don't want to lose it. And hopefully I go out here, catch a fish on it. And if not, hey, it was fun building it anyway. But I think maybe it'll be split screen. Like I said, I don't know. But I've been talking way too long. So let's get in the kayak, see how this thing looks, and try to catch a fish. What I screwed up and didn't get for you guys was obviously the painting of it. Handed that off to Mike over at Sack Pig Bait Company, and he did an awesome job painting the thing. But didn't get, I worked with them. We actually made these hook hangers out of just wire, a drill, you know, put it in the drill, hook this onto the end of a small hook, twisted up the wire. The wire's going in at an angle, so that way it doesn't pull straight out. This wire's going in like that. This wire's going in up. And this wire's going in up. That way when the fish, something's pulling straight on it, that wire's not straight. There's 2 weights in this one. There's one here, and there's one right here. So 2 little weights. I think this thing probably weighs a total of maybe, it might be a little over 1/4 ounce, 3/8 ounce, I'd say is probably close. It's not a 1/2 ounce, it's more like 3/8 ounce. There's one here, one here. Just drilled a hole, used lead, put it in there, baking soda, super glue, put that over, sanded it down, got it smooth, and went to paint. And then the bill, just used a regular round bill on this guy, which he had these circuit board bills already cut. So we used this, it fit in there perfectly, eyeballed it, cut the slot on just on his saw, eyeballed everything, eyeballed that, eyeballed the this, just eyeballed it all this, the weights, and I think it works freaking awesome already. Let's go out here and see. At least this water's pretty clear. Yeah, it's clear, so be able to see this no problem. Let's see. It looks good. Looks great. This thing's gonna be a Delta killer. Straight up Delta killer right here. Whew. See if we can catch a fish on it. Ooh, got one, fish on, fish on the new crank. Yes. Whoo. Well, folks at home, the hand carved crank works. It catches fish. Oh man, that feels good. And he just stopped it right out there, and it's man, works good. It's got a good float to it, it's got good thump to it, good depth, everything I wanted. Might have to add that one to the lineup.